What's up YouTube and welcome to the Anabolic Outpost. I am back with yet another recipe tutorial. This time I am showing off my buffalo chicken quesadillas, which are actually a recipe that I will typically meal prep and then I could just easily slap them on the skillet. It really doesn't take that much effort, and depending on your schedule, this might work great for you. Not to mention that this is kind of an unconventional food, but this is honestly the type of food I love to make, combining two things that are conventionally unhealthy and somehow making them healthy together. And while the healthy definition may vary from person to person, I'm sure anybody can benefit from eating a lower calorie version with a lot higher content of protein. And that's exactly what this recipe aspires to do, and I also think it's great because it can appeal to a wide range of audience. Even if you have someone that isn't into fitness or generally eats unhealthy, I'm sure they would enjoy this recipe quite a lot. So enough talking, let me just quickly show you the short list of ingredients you will need to make this. The first ingredient here is grilled chicken breast. I didn't do anything fancy at all because that's where the buffalo chicken flavor comes in, just seasoned with salt and pepper. I just figured I could do that part off camera. However, if you really want a grilled chicken breast tutorial, I would be happy to provide. Moving on to the next ingredient here, what I am using for the shells for the quesadillas are these Mission protein shells, and flipping it over on the back here, it's only 70 calories per tortilla with 7 grams of protein. Very solid macros coming from a tortilla. For the cheese, I like to use a combination of both mozzarella and cheddar, fat-free cheese of course. For the buffalo sauce, you gotta go with Frank's of course, not only the best in flavor but 0 calories to go along with it. Getting into the cooking portion now, I got my grilled chicken breast right in front of me here. And I'm going to be using a total of 8 ounces of chicken breast. I'll be making 2 quesadillas, so 4 ounces per quesadilla. So I'm going to go ahead and get to slicing into these chicken breasts. And it is important that you do make some small cuts on these chicken pieces. Not only because it'll allow you to get chicken in every bite on the quesadillas, but you don't want chicken lumps spread throughout and then you just get a mouthful of cheese on the next bite. I suppose I could keep you around to watch me cut this chicken, but I'm sure you want to just skip to the next part. And now moving over to that next part here, I got my chicken all sliced up as you can see in that bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and pour in my buffalo sauce in with the chicken, pouring in 40 grams in total. And of course, all this stuff that I'm doing right here, you could meal prep all the way up to the cooking part, and even the cooking part, you could likely even cook it and reheat it later in the week. I generally have the time to just cook these and then I could just move on to whatever else I want to do, but some people don't have the same schedule that I do. And of course, as you saw right there, I ended up just pouring in the buffalo sauce, and then you could lid whatever bowl you're using and just shake it up until the chicken is fully coated in the buffalo sauce. It really shouldn't take too long. You can see my buffalo chicken now in the background fully coated, looking real nice after doing so, and now we can get together to build the quesadilla itself. And this is the most important part right here, so watch closely. This isn't some sort of just regular quesadilla that we're making. So I'm layering on the cheddar cheese at the bottom there, and now I'm going to start to pour on my mozz. And I guess it's kind of confusing for me to explain the measurement on these because we will be layering the cheese, but it's going to end up being 28 grams of mozz and 28 grams of cheddar for each quesadilla, so 56 grams of both. And like I said, because I'm layering the cheese on both the top and the bottom, it's going to end up being 14 grams of both cheeses per side. Hopefully you can understand the cheese talk there. I do have 14 grams of both of the cheeses on the tortilla right now, and I'm starting to layer on my buffalo chicken. It'll be 4 ounces of chicken here, cut into small pieces and just spread throughout on the quesadilla. And of course, once you got the chicken on, you could repeat step 1 and layer the cheese on top of that, doing a layer of cheddar and then a layer of mozzarella following that. And that's it, you are done from there. You can place the other shell on top to close the quesadilla. And thinking real smart here, we could cook this first quesadilla and make the second one as the first one cooks. To cook the quesadilla, you'll want to set your skillet to low heat and hit it with some cooking spray. And you don't really have to let it preheat or anything, it's going to be pretty low as it is. And you could go ahead and make the dangerous transfer over with the quesadilla onto the skillet, being very careful to not let any cheese or chicken slip out, but if it slips out, it is really not the end of the world. And you could hit the top of the quesadilla with the cooking spray as well. Not too much so it doesn't get soggy, but just enough so it'll get crispy again when you flip. And go ahead and cover it with the lid. This fat-free cheese definitely needs the most melting power it could get. And depending on how hot your skillet was and also how high the heat is set when you end up putting the quesadilla on, the time's going to vary, but generally I would say it's about 4 to 6 minutes. Of course, like I did, you could kind of peek to make sure and double check that it's ready, but once you see that golden brown crispiness like you see right there, that's how you know it's ready to come up. And of course, just double check that the cheese is fully melted, because like I said, this fat-free cheese can be especially tricky to melt. And that is pretty much it. Like I said, this recipe is super simple, and now the quesadilla is ready. Once you have that golden brown crispiness on both sides, you could pull it from your skillet. And I'm going to make 2 in this video, so of course I got my second one fired up. The skillet is already preheated, so it should be ready in no time at all. Just got to reheat it with that cooking spray again, and go over to do that dangerous transfer, which I'll try not to show because this time I messed it up a little bit more than the first. After all, it's safe in the pan now, and because it's already preheated, it'll be closer to that 4-minute time frame. A quick life hack here for your quesadillas, if you haven't known this before, but using a pizza cutter can make it exceptionally easier to cut through your quesadilla. You can't just be using a regular kitchen knife with the rigid edges and all of the stuff is falling out as the quesadilla gets dismantled. No, you need this pizza cutter and then you get those smooth cuts right through the quesadilla. And of course, the ultimate time saver right here, munching on that first quesadilla while the second one cooks through, and I'm now pulling the second one. And these two are going to be more than enough of a meal for the average person, and you can sit down and enjoy. And of course, I didn't get around to getting that shot of the pour action, but you can't go ahead and have your quesadillas without sauce, and that is no exception for these. You could go ahead and use a Walden Farms ranch or blue cheese dressing. I'm going to even use both. And that is a wrap for these high protein buffalo chicken quesadillas. Super simple as proven by this video, and you can make it even more simple by making a bulk batch and having it to eat throughout the week and meal prepping this. It's really a game changer. And also a game changer is looking at the macros for this total recipe. You got a whopping 135 grams of protein with 68 grams of carbs, only 21 grams of fat to match that, coming in at a total of 840 calories. Of course, that's really not the lowest calorie meal, but when you're looking at 135 grams of protein, which is likely near the maximum for most people on their protein goals, then you can see the power of this recipe. And of course, it isn't really a secret that chicken breast is high in protein, and that's what makes up all that protein that is on the recipe, but with the fat-free cheese and the shells contributing as well. They're both contributing a minimum amount of fat respectively. And of course, I gotta make the point, not that fat is the bad thing, that is generally the diet I like to be on to stay on track with my goals. It's gonna vary for anyone. While some people may still perceive this as unhealthy, I think it's quite healthy for what I'm trying to do. And as always, I want to let you be the judge of that, but if it just so happens to find out that you have similar goals as me, binge watch all the recipes on my channel and you will be fueled with recipes for the rest of your career. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, so that is a sign to cut the camera and end this recipe tutorial. If you did have any questions on how this was made or anything throughout the video, comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, if you found this recipe tutorial both helpful and delicious, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.